It's time for a shout out or two or three or four. Hi, welcome to Garage Geek. It's m.o.n.comics just subbed to my channel, and I'm very grateful. So, of course, I went over to his channel to see what it's all about, and his channel is great. Now, the first video I watched was him doing a thread of shout-outs, so I figured I'd jump on this. So, we are supposed to shout out a comic channel. Now, I did a video where I was supposed to do a shout out, and I called it the Kobayashi Maru, because doing shout outs for me are really difficult because I always feel like I'm leaving people off, and there's so many people who want to shout out. I made it into a game where I was playing like I had to beat the system. How am I going to beat the system this time? I'm going to pick my most recent people that I've subbed to. So I'm actually going to shout out 3 or 4 in different genres, because if you watch my channel, you know I don't just stick to one genre. But I am going to start with comics. This is under the hashtag comic book shoutout. And I'm going to choose Mr. E, the low grade king. And it's not mystery, the word, it's Mr. and then E, capital E, period. Mr. E. His channel is fun. He shows a lot. I found out about him through Comic Collector Geeks Friday Night Challenges. And I've actually come across a bunch of new channels through this, so I want to thank Comic Collector Geek for that. But Mr. E, I believe, is the most recent one, and his channel is fun. I probably just like his beard. Next, I'm going to shout out for movies, and in the movie category, I'm going to go with Horror with Haas. So he shows a lot of horror movies, a lot of B movies too that he picks up. If it's horror, he buys it. And it's interesting to see what he buys. He buys high grade, put out by, major studios. And then he will also buy like the cheapest horror films that you can get 2 for $5. But he's proud to show them off. And I love that. For vinyl, I'm going to choose The Pressing Matters. So I really like The Pressing Matters because he talks about audiophile recordings, especially of jazz and vocal. I'm new to jazz, kind of, and I love vocal. And he also, for example, he'll talk about living stereo pressings and the difference between pressings. And for me, this is really interesting and important because I don't know much about that. And so watching his videos is always an edumacation. For books, I'm going to shout out Supposedly Fun, although he doesn't need my shout out. He's got tons and tons and tons of viewers. But I'm going to shout Supposedly Fun because he's my newest book channel I watch, and he usually focuses on book prizes, which is something I'm into, like the Booker Prize, the International Booker Prize, the Pulitzer Prize, and so forth. So again, I want to thank MON Comics for introducing me to this challenge, and I hope I didn't overstep in the comic realm for including shout-outs in other categories, because that's just what I always do. I want to thank you for your support. There's a fly in here.